Hello and welcome to Reading the Game, the show where I read the game, you get to listen to me read the game. I get one of my 10,000 and we all get to learn something about our favourite games. Now, I have 10 books in Genshin Impact that are complete, and I did a random roll, and today it didn't pick a Hilly Churl one, because we may have read both the Hilly Churl ones already, so I would have re-rolled anyway. But it did pick one very close to it, called Ballads of a Squire. I have no idea what this one's about. Let's find out together, shall we? Let's read. Volume 1. Down every street in Mondstadt I strolled. The air was filled with the stench of misery and the buzz of revelry. I saw the most arrogant aristocrats. I saw the most pitiful of the impoverished. At night these streets are a spider's web, some here to feast, others their eternal prey. I hear a jangling at night, and know it is the chains that fetter the souls of the oppressed. Oh, is this Ballads of a Squire? I mean, I was thinking Ballads, maybe this was Venti talking about before law time! So Mondstadt has its law in that it was once ruled by the noble class, and slavery was a good, okay thing. And then Venti came along and sparked a rebellion, and then he went back to sleep. And I think that was basically the last time he was awake. Barbatos is an Archon that just kind of shows up when he's needed, and then just takes a very, very long nap in between those times. Which actually does worry me that now that the Storm Terror issue is done, that he hasn't gone back to sleep yet. So why is he still awake? Anyway, that's a worry for some other time. So this is obviously set in that kind of time in Mondstadt. I patrol the streets of Mondstadt at night time, where my peers and superiors would once declare, "We are the starlit knights, lift thy heads and bear witness. For we, who raise our flag in the splendour of starlight, are the true protectors of Mondstadt. But not once have I lifted my head to the stars, or gazed at our flag, for I cannot shift my focus from the filthy street corners. Destitute peddlers weep in silence, aging soldiers grimace in pain. In the deathly stillness of night, a young girl, rejected by the aristocracy, pleads for Barbatos' mercy. The sighing of mournful winds rattles the cathedral gates, carrying with them the grief of the oppressed. They assault splendid parped walls." It's so ironic that the City of Freedom is the one that got into this kind of mess. Oh. Each mother's call, each infant's cry, enough to dent the hardest of shields, enough to shatter the sharpest of swords. Sounds of sorrow sent shivers down my spine. Oh, that was a lovely line. The alliteration. Oh, I want to say it again. Sounds of sorrow sent shivers down my spine. But in the palace and in the castle, though the winds blow the same over holy ground, they are but signs of ants to the ears of men. Ooh. This Squire has got some hot shit writing. 10 out of 10, this Squire knows how to put a sentence together. Your mastery of the language, I would say the English language, but it's probably... But do they technically speak English in Teyvat? No, they technically speak whatever language you put them on. So whatever language Teyvat canonically has, you have a great mastery of it, dear Squire. One day at the crack of dawn, a dancer whose sword was her song set foot in Mondstadt. Though clad in change with cuffed hands and fettered feet, in her silence lay a song. It was the song of freedom, a song of a brighter dawn beyond the walls. A joyous ballad sung without reservation by a people unrestrained. She was the dawnlight of the wanderer's troop, but she spelled eternal midnight for the aristocracy. I once asked her, Why do you come to overthrow our aristocrats? Do you not know that they are the first among us? Wherefore do you place their lives on a pedestal? Came her voice like a fresh breeze. If you claim to know the wind as your companion, then did you not once know freedom too? To her lonesome listeners she told a tale. A tale of our rulers, better ancestors who held divine power. A tale of angels, gods, and vile dragons. A tale of deities and people of all the land. Each myth and legend turned to song, and the wind carried the song to all corners of the land. In the aristocrat's arena, her sword sang once more, her final masterpiece, but it stopped short of perfection. A nameless knight retrieved her sword from the blood-soaked battlefield and buried it where the gentle winds meet communion. So this is probably talking about Vanessa, the original, is it Lion Fang Knight? I will double check that. But in Jean's story, which I will probably play in a video at some point, it talks about the original Lion Fang Knight, Vanessa. She ascended to Celestia around the Windrise tree. We don't particularly know what that means, especially the more we find out that Celestia is not great. Is that a punishment, ascending to Celestia now? Celestia is not a good thing. That's what we've found out slowly but surely. So we just don't know what ascending to Celestia truly means. But this might not actually be Vanessa it's talking about, if only because it talks about her dying on a blood-soaked battlefield. Maybe Ascension to Celestia is something that was added into the tale later and is just a nice addition to make her death a bit more palatable for the average person, to make it a song of hope rather than despair. However, a nameless knight retrieved her sword from the blood-soaked battlefield and buried it where the gentle breeze meets communion. Now that's why I think that maybe it is potentially Vanessa, actually, because that's where Vanessa's sword would be, Windrise, where the gentle breeze meets communion. And maybe, as I said, the tale may have changed somewhere down the line because her sword is there. Maybe people believe that her spirit went to Celestia from there. Who knows? I may be wrong. If you have a better understanding of this, by all means tell me. And I'm hoping the more we read in this, I'm hoping to read some of the artifact sets and things like that, we'll come to a really good understanding of Genshin's lore and what means what and things like that. But that is it for today. It was kind of a short one, but that's okay. We got to discuss some lore, and that's great. This has been Reading the Game. If you liked this video, please consider pressing the button that means you like it, the thumbs up, and subscribing to the channel. I had fun. I hope you had fun. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.